rules got me feeling hot, but I stay cool 'cause I got fans. Keep it cool, keep it calm. Please don't be a con. Everyone gets a chance. Don't mean we won't kick your ass. If I look into your eyes and see the back of your head, me and you can't flex. Me and you can't flex. You can't line up the mix when you're spinning on the deck. Me and you can't flex. Me and you can't flex. You got hate in your heart and don't talk with your chest. Me and you can't flex. Me and you can't flex. But your honest positivity is promised and blessed. Ready for them? Careful for the snake in grass. Give your ears and go and grasp. Please don't go throwing stones in a house of glass. Trapped in colour, trapped in class. We don't know who we are. Got your feelings subpar. I'ma show you what you are. Just watch. Heard me on the climb. You gon' see me at the top. Got my fingers in some pies when I come to eat the lot. See the swag in my step. See the swag in my box. See how I smile for the count. Unbelievers getting
Morning people, hope everyone's good. So there was nothing on before while I was driving, and I was listening to some of G-Flop. It always seems to be a bit better when Belly's not there. It seems to turn to actual discussion rather than just usual race bait fucking narrative nonsense pushed by the likes of Hope Not Hate. So now Jupiter and I always forget his name. What the fuck is his name? It's one of the, you've got Ultra E-Sound, you've got SM E-Sound, and there's a guy that comes on every now and again. He's not on all the time. YouTube don't seem to be his life. If the name comes to me, I'll put it in the title. I can't think for the life of me. Buddha, I think it's Buddha. He seems sound, to be fair. I mean, you don't like Tommy in any way, shape or form by the sounds of it, but a lot of people, a lot of people don't. A lot of people have been fed the narrative of, oh, Tommy's a racist, Tommy's this, Tommy's that. Now, Jupiter was having a discussion that turned to Tommy or whatever, and why she allegedly supports him or whatever. I did put in the comments, I don't like commenting over there. It's one of them. Velly's blocked me on the Den account or whatever, so at that point I don't bother partaking in any of it, if I'm honest. But Jupiter seemed to be just missing the obvious or whatever. I mean, it's easy to say, oh well, Tommy's racist, Tommy's this, Tommy's that, blah fucking blah, just because of the predicaments along the way. People always tying back to Nick Griffin and all that kind of shit or whatever. Now, Moham Singh has been pointing this shit out longer than Tommy, I would say. Moham Singh, for anyone that thinks I'm talking shit or whatever, Seeks Awareness Society, go and have a look, check it out yourself or whatever. He's been pointing this shit out for fucking donkey's years or whatever. Nobody ever calls him a racist. He's highlighted that it actually affects 82 towns and cities across the UK. Now, it seems a big misconception that all the rape gangs and all that shit only consists of being in the north. Now, that's simply not the case. Have a look yourself or whatever. What you will find is it's all over the UK. Even Oxford was one of the affected places or whatever. Now, that kind of kills two birds with one stone when it's places like that, because Oxford's hardly one of the cheaper places to live in the UK. So it's not just poor people on benefits and people in children's homes and all this kind of shit or whatever. All this bullshit narrative that you've heard from all kinds of people or whatever, it's just simply not true. I did put the comment for Jupiter to kind of allude to that or whatever, just for people to check out. Do you know what I mean? If you've got people that are trying to push it one way or whatever and make out that it's racism and whatever, do you know what I mean? Show them the other cards or whatever. Show them the other people that have been pointing this shit out. You can't call Moham Singh racist. He's literally, I would say, the best person to point out the shit that has gone on or whatever, to the point where when him and his group do attend anything like they did do when Tommy was caught recording outside a court or some shit and he got sent down, if you look back on the footage, where they were stood has been cut out or whatever. So your BBC and all them cunts couldn't have explained why they was there. So the best way to do it was just cut them out like they weren't there. Just edit the life out of the shit and make it so they weren't there. Fact is, they was there, and they've been many places, and they actually do more for the survivors of grooming gangs than Tommy or anybody else ever has, if I'm honest. I don't do idols, do you know what I mean? Just the truth, the facts and the evidence is more than enough for me. You get the truth, the facts and the evidence to this argument, and the argument wins on its own merits. It doesn't need lies, it doesn't need twisting or bending out of shape. Just the truth, the facts and the evidence is more than enough. Now, I don't know if Jupiter was just not reading the comments at the time or whatever. I tried putting it in there twice. I told people on there, I'm going to delete the comments now so Velly don't cry or whatever. And I deleted the comments. Now, I don't know if I think it's Stephen that was with Buddha. I don't know if any of them will take the time to go and have a look for themselves or whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. Some people have made their mind up already, and generally they'll be stuck in that mindset. They'll take more than a lot of stuff to show them. Realistically, some people will just simply stay in that mindset because that's what they believe at this point in time. And to be fair, with all the media, the bullshit against Tommy and whatever, you know, it is what it is. People maybe think he's got his own agenda, blah blah blah, whatever. Maybe he's making money, maybe he's doing this, maybe he's doing that, whatever, you know what I mean? But Moham Singh, he doesn't do any of that. He's never grifted, he's never whatever. And like I say, they do help many grooming victims or whatever, as many as they can. So it would have been worth mentioning if you'd have seen the comments. I'm not sure if you did or you didn't, but it would have been worth mentioning just for people to go and check out. Now, that's about all I can say on the matter, realistically. There was a lot of remixing going on from Jupiter, like, she can't understand. Well, she can understand, but why she's hated by so many people or whatever. A lot of it's just to do with your own words and your own actions, Jupiter. You've hardly been a moral avatar, have you? At that point, people are gonna have an adverse reaction to you and not like it for one reason or another. that list of people seems to be across the board in many communities or whatever. To me, it's just because, do you know what I mean? You can't look in. I've said it from day one. You can't look inwardly. It seems to be impossible for you. It's always other people. It's never you, which is mad. But yeah, we are where we are. I've always tried to be civil with Jupiter, just on, it's a very small fucking basis, but just because she's got a mixed race family, same as me, same as even people like Vela, that's a bit of a dickhead or whatever. To me, there's a large section of the UK which haven't got a box to be in or whatever. People like Vela, with all the race baiting shit and having mixed race children be able to be called mongrels and shit like that, it just kind of makes it a lot harder for anyone else that has got a mixed race family. I don't get why Vela does it, allows it, whatever. You'd have to ask Vela. To me, that's your real racism that's going to cause a problem, because there's many mixed heritage families in the UK now. I don't know what the actual number is or whatever, but I personally know many mixed race families across the UK or whatever, and the racism that goes on in London just doesn't go on anywhere else. Not anywhere fucking that I know of anyway. It's madness. It's madness. I mean, you ask Jupiter, she'll tell you about all this racist shit, blah blah blah. She slipped up and said on the live one time, a couple of months ago or whatever, that the only racism that she's experienced is online. It's like, well, that's not the same. People are just cunts on YouTube and Facebook and all this social media shit. Unless you've actually experienced racism in the skin, on the street, in person or whatever, then realistically it doesn't exist as much as you sort of make it out to be or whatever. People are just cunts on YouTube. They're not calling you some racist shit or whatever, or race baiting. Do you know what I mean? It goes both ways. Look at all the shit that comes out of G Block. Racist as fuck. Some of the shit that gets said there, it's fucking, you would just get your head punched in on the street. Simple as that. They wouldn't say what they say on there, on the street, and I think everyone's aware of that. Yeah, I think that's about it realistically. For me personally, I've always said that from day one. There's not a box for certain people to go in. Do you know what I mean? Jupiter is probably not the best example. Well, she's not the best example. But to me, it's one of them. She's on YouTube more hours than fucking people working a week generally. So it's a bit of a mad one. I mean, why Jupiter is constantly doing the same shit of, oh, boycott Velis kind of thing. People need to stop going on there and all that, and then her and Wendy are forever on there. It's just madness. I've said on a previous video, Jupiter will be the first one to go back begging it over there and show it. One thing with Jupiter, she will always prove you right. Because YouTube is her life. Do you know what I mean? What else would she do with her hours? If she has to resort to sitting there saying dumb comments to try and trigger people all day, then she will do. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's spotted it. It is what it is. I don't know why she denies it. It is her life. PooTube is her life. And at that point, that's where I thought, well, do you know what I mean? If you can kind of get her onto the right path and show her that the people around you are fucking wrong'uns, are just gonna drag you into more shit, whatever. The ESOs, the bleedings, the whatever. she's not learnt any lessons, Jupiter. I was told that she's been on comments on bleedings and whatever, and she's got a spanner as well. And that was today. So people like Jupiter don't learn lessons. At that point, you start to think to yourself, well, the people behind her that she knows are linked to Hope Not Hate, people like Jason Tyler and all that shit. Do you know what I mean? Is she a plant? It's very possible. Very, very possible. I've never known anyone give so much ammunition. Between her and Wendy, it's like, wow, what are you doing? You're just literally stocking these wrong-uns on G Block up with ammo every fucking single opportunity you can do, or whatever. That's why I generally don't bother with Jupiter as of much lately, or whatever. It seems pointless when they keep doing the same dumb shit over and over and over again. There's got to be a line where you think, right, you know, is it worth even fucking trying to do anything or whatever? This person's obviously fucking broken or part of the problem. Do you know what I mean? You got to think people have been led to believe that Jupiter was Tommy's PA and all this shit, and she kind of ran with it or whatever. Like, oh, this won't do me any harm. Do you know what I mean? And then only recently, as her and Wendy kind of cleared all that up, that they never have been, whatever, this, that, and the other. We are where we are, but to me, once you've kind of made yourself a name for something, they're gonna keep resorting back to that regardless. So yeah, it's a bit of a mad one. I mean, for me, people like Jupiter and when they're coming out of all this ridiculous fucked up shit that they do, and they have done and they continue to do, it makes it look bad for any genuine Tommy supporters that are not racist, don't feel the need to call people the N-word or say or do any ridiculous shit just to get a bit of attention or whatever. It makes it a hard life for them normal people that can just see the terrorism, see the rape gangs, see the government failing to do out about it. It just makes the situation harder when you've got two mad old bastards like that just doing and saying whatever they feel like doing and saying. You know what I mean? I won't forget that it was them two that was walking everybody through the clown world shit. Anybody with half a fucking brain will be able to tell you that what they was coming out with was pure bullshit. It took me all of fucking an hour going through the so-called evidence of that fucking baby basher that was around clown world and all that. It's just pure bullshit. You ask a few questions about the so-called evidence, you get blocked. You don't block people when they're asking about your evidence. You've mithered for the attention. Now you've got the attention and you block people. At that point, you know there's a problem and you know it's bullshit. It was very easy to expose. Yeah, that's about it really. I mean, to me, exposing that shit was really easy. All I had to do was listen to what they've said and then counter it with the obvious shit to ask, which you know that they can't really answer without fucking exposing themselves or whatever. And they did that. The only reason when Ginger Tony said, I've got some footage of us going to see Mandy Mosley or whatever, can we do it on mine? I said no, do it on Jupiter's, because at the end of the day it's on Jupiter's and on Wendy's where they've walked everyone through that load of shit. You need to show that two little pockets of community, that all the shit that you've been walking them all through and putting your own little fucking thoughts to it and all this shit and drawing conclusions that just wasn't there. It was more important to show them realistically. My channel don't go far, I'm very aware of that. Do you know what I mean? Once you've lost 100 channels, you're not going to get the people that you had before. As soon as you lose the channel, there's no way of contacting people that you've already, do you know what I mean, that have already subbed to you and all that. There ain't no way of doing that shit. So once you've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, once you get to 100, you'd be lucky if you've got one person in the mix that you had to begin with or whatever. My first channel had over 5,000 subs or whatever, so there would have been no point doing it on mine anyway. And seeing as them two idiots had walked everyone through the clown world nonsense, then it's only right to do it on that. Now, people can take what they want from it, do you know what I mean? But realistically, even if you hate Tommy, look at the shit that goes on. Look at the shit campaigns that go on. It wasn't that long ago. Wendy was saying with her chest to me, I will re-air it just to fucking remind people or whatever. Wendy was saying proudly or whatever that Danny Tomo was a nonce and a paedophile based off Mandy Mosley say so. So we are where we are, do you know what I mean? When you've got hate campaigns like that, and realistically, would they have, I mean, Jupiter says, oh, I realised it was all bullshit on my own. No, you didn't. You had me going at you for fucking months. And in the background, pulling people into that private Zoom room of Phantom Toms or whatever. And I managed to, over a couple of weeks and whatever, pull the fucking truth out of the situation. And eventually, yeah, Jupiter put the thing up and whatever and shown what I had pulled out. And it did expose them or whatever. But before that, I don't remember Jupiter doing anything. She seemed quite happy to keep plodding on through all the bullshit or whatever. We are where we are. If Jupiter wants to say one thing and I've said the other thing, people can make their own minds up. I couldn't give a shit. I honestly couldn't give a shit. But for people like Buddha and this Stephen guy or whatever, I get why he's think the way he's think, but do you know what I mean? You've got to look at it realistically in normal terms. Is the rape gangs in 82 towns and cities? Yeah, there definitely is, because it's all documented. These things are now public knowledge. Is there terrorism? Obviously there is. And at that point, why would you suppress anybody speaking out about it? It's hard to speak out about it anyway. Just on the simple basis, people call you racist, Nazi, blah blah blah, all this shit that you're just not. Do you know what I mean? So to make it fucking harder for people to speak out is just dumb. It's proper dumb. Do you know what I mean? Next time something goes bang and children die like they did in Manchester, do you know what I mean? Who's it on? Is it on the people calling people racist, or is it on the people speaking out? I know which side of history I'd rather be on, and I've stayed on that side consistently. For the people that are just quick on dishing labels out and whatever, do you know what I mean? You've got to take a little accountability for something along the way. For me, when children are being targeted, that should be your main focus and concern. Not, oh, who can we call a Nazi and a racist and far right is the new name and whatever. There's very little far right. I've had a discussion with the so-called far right or whatever. It's on Wake Up UK, funnily enough. And yeah, for me, it was about highlighting how stupid it was, how pointless it was. Bear in mind, it was John Lawrence that was one of the people that I was speaking to, which is someone I've known for a number of years, and do you know what I mean? He's not white. At that point, what are you doing there? What are you actually doing there? Yeah, well, where we are, do you know what I mean? I've always said to people, anyone that goes down that road, there's no coming back from, do you know what I mean, from the labels that you're going to gain or whatever. If you're not about that, then don't be around that. Most of the people that was around that ended up coming away anyway. So to me, you've just tarred and feathered yourself for no good reason when you do that shit. Do you know what I mean? If you're in multicultural circles and multicultural family and all that sort of shit, you've got no business being around any of that shit. It's a mad one, isn't it? Jupiter's been around it all. Lady Divine, is it Lady Divine? It's one of the two women that are on G Block anyway. Is it Lady Divine? Yeah, I think it was Lady Divine that was all up Vinnie Sullivan's arse or whatever. So it's a mad one from both sides of things, especially with the women. It's like, yous was around that shit, and none of yous had any business being around that shit or whatever. For me, that is fucked up on many levels. But I've seen it with a few people. John Lawrence, Shazia Hobbs, she was around it. It's like, what the fuck are you people actually doing? But like I say, you know what I mean? Most people was just around it at the time, drawn to it for one reason or another, and then ended up coming away from it anyway. So it's mad. You just, when you do shit like that, you're just pissing on your own chips. But yeah, there did seem to be some civil discourse actually happening tonight. It always seems better when Belly's not there. It's what it is, isn't it? It's what it is. So I'm going to leave it as that. Hope everyone's good. Look after each other. Stay safe. And just do your fact checking. Do you know what I mean? Check some things out. Maybe stop fucking assuming things or whatever. It's easy to get pre-programmed with the media or the bullshit from all fucking sides of things, whether it be online, on TV, whatever. It is what it is. Do you know what I mean? It takes a lot for people to have to stand up, speak out, turn up at these fucking events and whatever, and then be made into things that you're not. It's fucked up. I've never given a shit. Do you know what I mean? Anyone that knows me knows I'm far from anything like that or whatever. And I think more people are waking up daily to it's not the case. I mean, Keir Starmer's made it very easy by saying that everybody that was anything to do with being on the street, being at a demo, being exposing hotels, even tweets and 11-year-old kids and everything, yeah, you're all far right. He's made it very easy for people to go, well, that can't be right. You know, you can't just broad brush everyone and go, yeah, you're all this, and we're just going to lock you up. You can't do that shit. And anyone that allows that shit to go on and adds fuel to that fire, people like fucking Vela, then, do you know what I mean? You need your head sorting. You need a fucking check-up from the neck up. It's our children, their children, their children, future generations that are going to suffer because of your ego today. That's all it comes down to. Simple as that. So I'm going to leave it as that. Look after each other. Stay safe. Catch you on the next one.